Good morning from Edmonton, Canada for Day 4 of the 2017 Ford World Men's Curling Championship. It's a crisp spring morning here in Edmonton. Pretty easy commute to the rink out here in Northlands. Still a bit of winter chill in the air, but spring is coming, and there we can see the North Saskatchewan River. Downtown Edmonton, after a long winter, everybody here is greeting spring. Pretty happy about it, and a lot of folks are heading to Northlands Coliseum, just on the fringe of the CBD. Very famous building in ice hockey history as well as curling history. Stanley Cups have been raised here. Canadian Curling Championship banners, World Championship banners, but we're here this morning for Men's Session 9, and our feature game today sees Germany facing China. Day 4 here at the World Championship. It's moving day, really. Some of the Chinese team supporters, a bit of an early morning, maybe need a coffee. I'm Hans Frauenlob. I'm joined here this morning by Ann Swisshelm. Good morning to you, Ann.
Good morning, Hans.
Scots are up bright and early.
Yep, they're looking for a win over there for Team Scotland.
Welcome to Team Germany.
Media and attendance from around the world for these championships, and here comes Team Germany. Lots to play for in this competition. World Championships, and of course, places at stake in the 2018 Winter Olympics.
Nice to see young curling fans here.
Absolutely it is. Bright and happy smiles. Let's meet the teams. Here's Team Germany. At lead is Ryan Sherrard. At second and vice skip Daniel Herberg. At third is Manuel Walter. And Team Germany is skipped by Alexander Baumann. Sebastian Schweitzer is the alternate, and Thomas Lips is their coach.
And for China, throwing lead rocks, Zhang Zhaliang. At second stones, Ba Duxin. At third, Xiao Xiaoming. And skipping Team China, Leo Ray is joined on the bench by Zhao Cheng and coach Marcel Rock.
So let's have a look at the standings. Canada is on top, unbeaten at 5-0. Switzerland, Sweden following at 4-1. China, Italy, and Japan are on 3-2. Norway also on 3-2. Scotland and the United States on 2-3. Germany at 1-4, and the Netherlands and Russia looking for their first victory of the competition. Other games in action this morning. Sweden takes on Italy. Switzerland faces Scotland. Our feature match is Germany versus China, and Norway is taking on the United States. So day 4, midway point of the competition, and it's a big day here for both teams, but in particular Team China.
Team China has the opportunity with a solid game to move towards the top of the standings and solidify their hopes for post-round robin play.
Germany, on the other hand, they're at 1-4, and really to have any hopes of making the top 4 playoffs are really going to have to run the table from here, aren't they?
They're going to have to generate a win streak that they have never seen at a World Championship before. But Germany has the talent and the ability to do that. They just have to play one simple shot at a time, be patient, and take any opportunity that Team China gives them.
China dropped their first 2 games of the round robin, but they're on a 3-game winning streak now, so Liu Ray is feeling pretty good, and his teammates are on fire. Let's see if they can maintain that this morning. There's the stone colors. Germany will be playing the red stones. China will be playing the yellow stones. The Germans won last stone advantage by the last stone draws. They made a couple of beauties, and so they've got the hammer here in end number 1.
They did. They managed that first practice and the somewhat slower ice conditions quite well as we get a look at lead Zhang Zhaliang.
Getting us underway for Team China here in the first end.
China looking for a center line guard on the far end of the ice. The way they've been playing, they're not afraid to put some rocks in play. Their skip has played incredibly well the last couple of games. They're ready to force the action right away. And then Germany has lead Ryan Shepard. Throwing a come around.
Gerard born in Canada, but he's moved to Germany now and now representing Germany in competition.
Yeah, this can be a difficult shot for lead of the Red Rocks. They had first practice. It's been quite a while since he's thrown a rock, and the ice conditions and speed have changed pretty dramatically since their practice.
Yeah, you really have to go to school on your opponent's first rock and really kind of guess from there and make adjustments in your mind, don't you?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's been almost 20 minutes since he threw a rock.
It's a lot of time to wait, but Ryan is into action now, is Zhang Jialang. Trying to make a play on that German stone in the back 8. Love a little inside flop if he can get it. Pretty much on the nose. Nice shot. The U.S. Masters Golf Tournament is coming up next week, and in golf they call Saturday moving day, and for me I call Tuesday in this tournament moving day. This is when teams position themselves, and by the end of today you've usually got an idea who's in the frame for the top 4 and who isn't.
Yeah, some teams will move to the penthouse, others will be relegated to the basement.
Both of these teams looking to press the up button on the elevator.
Absolutely. A little bit of a half shot there, just a little wide, maybe a little heavy.
Playing conservative here in the first end, but not Team China. Here is Ba Dezhen. If you were with us yesterday and watched some of the games featuring Team China, Dezhen had an adventurous but amazing day, really.
Yeah, it was a little bit of everything for Ba. A burned stone, incredible runbacks, high-level execution, and he really kept his composure out there. Just a nice, steady presence for Team China.
And also an absolute sweeping machine.
He made lots of shots for his teammates on the brush.
So he comes to rest. Full 8 foot, almost a piece of the 4, maybe hiding a corner. So here's Daniel Herberg, the veteran of this team. Daniel competed in the early 2000s with Sebastian Stock in German teams. Just squeaks the guard. Nice brushing there by the Germans. Removing the Chinese stone, and Germany lies 1. Let's have a look at the rules of play. 10 ends scheduled, but the minimum 6 ends to be played. Each team has 38 minutes of thinking time and 1 60-second timeout where they can call their coaches onto the field of play for advice.
And the thinking time clock means that while a stone is actually in motion, the clock isn't running. It's just while they're thinking that their clock runs.
It's a bit like chess, isn't it? And the reason that curling moved to the thinking time was not to penalize teams that were throwing more draw shots as opposed to hits.
Right.
So it's a bit to encourage more aggressive play, and so now Herberg will make a play at the Chinese stone.
Similar shot for a very experienced competitor in Daniel Herberg. Daniel also holds the brush for his skip and takes the responsibilities as vice skip.
That's quite an important role, isn't it, Dan? You want quality line reading on the skip stones.
Yeah, it's actually a really tough job because you are asked to call the line, as we see Xiao Xiaoming.
Another veteran, although he's only 32 years of age.
Right, and another vice skip who throws the traditional 3rd position. You have to call the line on the 2 most important shots of the end, and you've not seen any. It's really a very challenging position at third.
So Xiaoming makes the hit. 2 Chinese stones in front of the house. The Germans have last rock here in end number 1. And I suspect, here's our first look at Manuel Walter. And I suspect that the Germans will be playing it a little bit conservatively, and they'll know that they don't want to fall behind to Team China because Team China is very strong at defending a lead. So they're probably going to be focused on scoring and looking for a deuce, but they want to try and play the scoreboard a little bit, I think.
Yeah, they're definitely being very conservative here, and the German team might be a little careful today, coming off a very disappointing loss to Team Japan last night. Germany had played very well, and unfortunately for skip Alexander Baumann, had a pick stone on his first rock in the 9th end, and really a very disappointing finish. Ended up giving up a score of 3 to Japan, and that was the game.
And it's important to be able to kind of have a sleep, reset, and come back the next morning with a fresh perspective, really, isn't it? Because you really can't do anything about those types of things.
No, it was just bad luck, unfortunate timing.
Yep.
Have a look at that lovely come around by Xu Xiaoming. Fully buried.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Chinese team tighten up those brush strokes a little bit. I don't know if you could see that. The brush strokes were going from either really far outside the running surface of the rock. A kind of unnecessary movement there. So tightening that up. Now here's a great opportunity for China.
Walter trying the run back, but just blowing it by the Chinese stone in the rings. So Germany with the hammer, but China with a great chance to generate a force and maybe a steal. If you're new to our sport, the basic strategy of curling, when you've got last rock, you're trying to score 2 points, and when you don't have last rock, you're trying to prevent your opponent from scoring 2 points. So Germany with the hammer here in the first would be looking for 2, but China's trying to prevent that, and if you can steal the point, that means you score when the opponent's got last rock. That's quite often a huge turning point in the game, and so here is Lu Rui.
And Leo Ray is climbing the statistical ladder. He's gone from being one of the lowest performing skips in that opening day to now sitting in 2nd place for skips.
I saw one of the games yesterday where he was playing in the mid-90s, low mid-90s in shooting percentage terms, and at the skip position, that's outstanding. Not the best of guards. He gives himself cover, but leaves half the stone available for Alexander Baumann.
And Alexander Baumann has a couple of options here. He can either hit and try and go under, which would then likely cause China to draw towards the 4-foot under all of that cover, or he could hit and roll away in hopes of blanking this end.
Alexander has curled for 25 of his 32 years, and so started curling as a 7-year-old. Need this one to curl. He's got some contact, but will he stick around?
Needs to sit on the rings.
Watch the spin.
And it does.
All right, that's using all of that 12-foot blue
Choices.
circle.
Choices for China.
Lots of guards here, so it is pretty tempting if you're Leo Ray to have a go and come around. Risk, of course, is if you don't make it great, you give the Germans a shot at 2. And I'm not surprised, Dan, that they are thinking to come around. They really do back their own ability to make draws.
Their goal here was to force Germany to a single point. And the way to do that is still available to China. They need to put a rock almost anywhere in the 8-foot underneath those guards on the left side of the screen.
But that is the key. They're going to need the protection of the guards.
Well, since he just threw the guard down this path, they should have a really good idea of how this draw should move.
Leo Ray going to school on his first stone, trying to take advantage of it here on the payoff shot. Lots of room. Miles by the guard.
Yeah, and it's running a little bit.
Sweepers will take this as deep as they can in the house to try and get maximum curl and get any kind of protection they can. So they sweep it in the back of the 8, but that one is available for Alexander Baumann.
That was the risk for Team China. He got a little bit conservative with the icing, and Leo Ray paid for that. Was a hair heavy, had a hair too much ice, and that rock sits relatively wide open, given how much this ice curls.
Great opportunity now for Germany to open the game strong with the deuce. So here's Alexander Baumann. He's going to just try and play probably hack or board weight just to push the Chinese stone out of the rings and stick around himself.
Nice board weight here. Line looks really good.
Safely by the guard. Oh, very nice stone there by Baumann, and Germany opens their account with a big deuce in the first end. Germany breaks on top. Did a great job to get the hammer with the last stone draw, and they make the most of it. Germany 2, China no score. After that deuce in the first, Germany gets us underway here in the second. Ryan Sherrard. Nice start for the Germans, and that'll build their confidence.
Yeah, they really needed that after the unfortunate finish to last night's game. And that was a very nice, calm, controlled, called first end. Even with a couple of half shots, they still generated a simple score of 2. That's what you want to do when you have last stone advantage.
Sherrard half into the 12-foot, so it's not in the free guard zone, so China could hit it if they want to, but I'm not sure if that's going to be the play. It is the corner guard for Zhang. Let's take a look at live updates. Norway versus the United States. We see 2 yellow stones belonging to the USA, so I would say the US is lying at least 1.
USA's lying 1 after a wonderful intern hit and roll by USA skip John Schuster.
Tough last stone here then for Stefan Wallstedt. And Wallstedt has got We talked about a big day, and this is a big day for both of these teams, the USA and Norway.
Absolutely. At 3-2 and 2-3, both these teams desperately need a win. And right now, Team Norway desperately needs half the button for a score of 1 in that first end.
Oh, look at that, right on the nail. Wow, what a great shot. So Norway opens their account after the terrific shot from John Schuster. Stefan Wallstedt says, oh, well, I can trump that. Bang, right on the button. Fantastic shot.
You see a little bit of challenging rock placement here for Team Germany's lead. Slipping onto the rings with his first and then behind the tee line with his second.
So the shot stone is covered, but as Ann said, not the ideal rock placement. So Sang Xialang, who has also skipped this team, so he's quite comfortable playing the upright shots as well, is going to take a run at them. This one has some curling to do, though. Misses the double takeout and sits his own in front of the German stone.
As we take a look at the bench, Chinese coach Marcel Rock, world champion, very familiar with this building.
Very much so, from the province of Alberta. Here's Daniel Herberg.
With that 2-point lead, Germany taking no chances and going to a...
But misses the attempted peel, so good defensive call, but poor execution. Now we look at the German bench. Thomas Lips, the German coach.
And he runs the German program for both the men's and women's teams. Sits on the bench for both.
So after the missed clear attempt by Herberg, good chance here for Bada Sheng to use his own stone for cover and duck one around.
Shou Xiaoming with some furious sweeping. The brush speed for the Chinese guys are great. I'd just like to see those brush strokes a little bit shorter. Pretty good spot.
Yep, they drag it full in the 8-foot. Only possible complication for China is those front stones are overlapped, so it makes the access to the German stone a little more difficult. But interesting call coming up here from Baumann. It looks like he was going to make a play on that front stone. And we see the great Chinese sweeping, dragging that stone. So after missing the first clear attempt, Daniel Herberg is being asked to play that front stone. It's a very, very defensive call, and
yeah, I'm not.
Makes the double, so he removes 2 stones, so you can't complain about the strategy, I suppose, but not a conventional call.
No, absolutely not. And I think that's maybe from their experiences yesterday, just being extra conservative here, not leaving any Chinese stones in the rings. And I guess the fact is that if it's not in the painted parts, it cannot be hung on the score against you.
Yep. So hard for a rock to score from the hack. This one's really moving. Will it go out? No, it doesn't. So after Herberg's miss earlier in the end, Ba Dixing with a miss of his own. So boy, oh boy, as the pendulum swung in this end.
Yeah, this is an I got it, you take it kind of situation. Each team trying to give this end to the other. Let's see if Manuel Walter can change that with a nicely executed draw here.
Great chance for Team Germany with that center guard. This one will come short. It's certainly not going to be a come around, but it's still going to be useful. It's a center guard, so if you're going to make a miss, that's probably not a bad miss. Let's update you now. Switzerland versus Scotland. Swiss team on a roll. Scotland at 2-3, clinging for their playoff life. And here's David Murdoch of Scotland attempting, looks like a run back. Well, rocks careening everywhere, but when the smoke clears, it's a steal of one for Switzerland. So Peter de Cruz and his Swiss teammates break on top, and that's a team that's very much on a roll here in these championships.
The Swiss team is coming here looking strong, and they continue that strong play in that opening end versus a very experienced Team Scotland.
China now with the chance to use those center guards in the come around, and Xu Xiaoming trying to thread the needle. Good looking line.
Really nice. Actually, this may end up over curling and coming out the other side.
Comes to rest on the button, and a corner of it does pop out on the outturned side. Baumann immediately
quickly to the run back and the peel. Those rocks are his friend. I really wish he would think about freezing. That Chinese stone came just a little bit deep. There's an opportunity here for for Germany to put the pressure on China.
Double run is there, however, but no, he clears his own. Double takeout of the wrong kind for Team Germany. And now the pendulum has swung yet again in this end, and this time all the way back to China. Some questionable shot selection there, Ann, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a coaching opportunity. Speaking of coaching opportunities, Thomas Lips is likely making a note about that shot selection.
Quite easy after the fact, of course, to be wise, and if that double run back was made, then we wouldn't be talking about shot selection, but it was just a riskier choice, really, relative to what they could have done with a freeze or a small tap.
Yeah, and I think he's thinking that he removed the rock that was his friend.
Yeah. Center guards you like when you've not got hammer.
Yeah, and in particular, he still had access to the rock on the ring, so that underneath, which maybe a little bit too conservative there.
Yeah, so Xu Xiaoming attempting to freeze on top of his own. Leo Ray saying, oh, he really needed a bit more curl there, and he has really set up a pretty natural double here for Team Germany to remove both the Chinese stones.
And this section of ice has actually been the trickiest section of ice on this sheet. There are moments where it runs just a little bit straight on this outside in, where the rocks aren't getting quite the finish that you're seeing almost everywhere else in the sheet.
So double takeout attempt here for Alexander Baumann.
Even just a little hit and flop would be excellent.
Kills both stones and rolls to the wing himself. Nice shot by Alexander Baumann. Alexander's got a nice sense of humor out there on the ice as well. We saw a shot yesterday in a game where he was trailing, made a really low percentage. I think it was a raise, and we heard him singing Staying Alive by the Bee Gees.
I think it was a raise triple.
A raise triple.
A raise quadruple maybe even. So yeah, he's got a really nice energy out there. Keeps his team quite light and is very supportive. And as he gets more and more of these championship experiences under his belt, he's got a chance to really do something in the curling world.
China with the hammer here on end number 2. The stone is out in the wings, so Leo Ray would love to roll this behind cover. There's the roll. Goes past the center guard and likely available to Team Germany on the intern side through that port. There we get a very nice look.
They've been showing all game so far. They're going to hit that stone. Going to stick with that conservative type of play. He does have another option to draw right down on top of that. I know it's a little bit dangerous, as we saw in the first end for Team China, but at some point, Team Germany is going to have to
make a play to grab control, really, right?
I know they've got a 2-point lead, so this makes sense right now, but they also need to prepare for putting a little bit of offense on at some point.
Germany can still generate the force, however, if they get a nice roll behind that center guard or to the one on the wing.
Now this spot on the ice finishes really nicely. It's going to move pretty hard right here at the end.
Right on the nose, so it will be available for China. Leo Ray putting the brush right beside the rock. That tells me he's going to throw some up weight and just try to blank. This is one of these situations, though, if you're Team Germany, this is quite often where you get the so-called no-risk steal.
Yep.
See at the top of our screen that red center guard covering part of the path to that shot rock in the ring. So even though it's a fairly routine shot, it still has to navigate by the guard. And if you put that in your mind and you flip it out a little bit, it might run. Let's see what happens.
And he's likely going to throw a little bit of weight at this with that brush. Shot's looking pretty good right now.
Safely by that guard. Makes contact, rolls out of the rings. Nice shot there by China. They blank the end to take last stone advantage into the third end. So after 2 ends of play, Germany leads it 2-0.
Sure. Welcome back to the Northlands Coliseum, scene of the 2017 Ford World Men's Curling Championship. Our feature match, Germany versus China. I'm Hans Fraunhofer, here with Ann Swisshelm. And pretty nice start, very conservative start by Team Germany. And Team China, I'm sure, is going to be looking to ratchet up the offense here in the third. Yeah, Germany sticking with its pattern. They got their 2 points in that opening end. And they're going to try and keep as much of the play in the rings as possible.
Zhang Xilang watching his attempted corner guard move down the ice. We have 4 sheets of action going on here in the Tuesday morning draw. Let's take a look at Sweden versus Italy. Nicholas Edin looks like an open hit here for potentially a score of 3.
With this shot made, it's going to be a tough uphill climb for the Italians and their hot skip, Amos Mozaner. Sweden, some of the best hitters in the game, with a 3-0 lead after 2.
So great start there for Nicodine and his Swedish teammates. Corner guard out on the wing for Team China. Two German stones in the house, and talked about China going on the offense. They're ignoring those stones.
Yeah, well, those stones are piled fairly close together, and I think they can be taken out right now with a single double takeout. And with a precision draw here, you really do secure your score of 2, but that shot's a little bit available to Germany.
And Zhang, nice weight, but only half buried, so Daniel Herberg.
Now remember, Daniel had the missed shot in the second end. The same exact line, just going the other direction.
Much less weight on this shot, though. Shot in two was an attempted peel, and this time he clips the guard, so bit of a rough start here for Daniel in the early going. He'll have to shake that one off and reset.
Yeah, as he's shaking his head literally. He's disappointed with some of his choices there on his technique.
So a chance now for Badishin.
Just a nose hit puts China in firm control. Really nice shot there.
So, and some would say, why don't you just play the double takeout? Why is it better for the Chinese stone to be sitting in front of that German stone as far as they're concerned?
Well, I mean, it's what I call a back guard. Some guards are in front of your rock. Some are going to hold you on the rings by sitting behind you. And China doesn't need to be shot now. China needs to be shot at the end of the end. So, and here's another opportunity. You might see China freeze to this, just play a simple little hit and roll.
So it's really just a way for them to generate even more offense.
Yeah, and for Germany to get rid of that Chinese stone in the top of the 8-foot, they're gonna have to get rid of their own that's directly behind it first.
So for all you new or young curlers out there, something to take note of. If you can't think of another way to generate some offense, just throw the stone in front of your opponent's stone, and sometimes the good things happen for you.
Yeah, and I'd really appreciate the phrase back guard catching on.
Okay.
It's a patented Anne Swisshelm phrase.
There you go. Back guard trending for Anne Swisshelm.
That's hashtag back guard.
Manuel Walter now trying to remove the Chinese stone. He'll need to stick around.
He really needs to stick around on this. That's the only way Germany gets out of that situation with the back guard.
Well, now looks like we almost have double back guards, Anne.
Yeah, we do. And now this is when China gets to make its choice. Just a half stone hit on the top. Oh.
Looking at the freeze on the back stone.
Looking to score 3. He's not happy with just setting up a score of 2. With a well-made freeze here and any other half shot from Team Germany, a 3 is in play for China.
So Team China,
yeah,
all out offense.
Xiao Ming needing the back of the rings freeze. Zhang Jialiang immediately on the brush. They're holding for line.
This one has a pile of curling to do.
That hard sweep right at release really straightens a rock out.
Baumann taking it deep into the house and actually choosing to leave it in the back 8-foot. So quite an intriguing stone setup here in this third end. China with last rock, Germany on top 2-0. Manuel Walter An opportunity to remove the Chinese stone and maybe get a little inside flip in front of his own rock.
Well, and with that little bit of a rollout, he upped his weight just a hair. It gives China the same opportunity they had. Now with one less stone.
Yep, now quick update here from Norway, United States. Lots of stones in the forefoot, so final stone on its way for USA skip John Schuster.
Looking for a precision double takeout in the forefoot. Second, Matt Hamilton sweeping so hard.
Oh, how good is that?
That's really good. 3 points on the board for USA. Take a 3-1 lead after 2 ends. So we're looking for this little half rock run split from Team China. Should leave him just over curls a bit.
So that was the opportunity, that the trap they've been trying to spring the whole end to make that short run and reposition the stones, but not quite enough stone separation for Team China.
Now, still a couple of angles that might help China, as Germany is going to attempt a double takeout here. There's a couple of rocks in the back of the rings that may provide
something to freeze to, something to sit in
catch.
front of. Yeah, jam. There we get a look at it from the Alexander Baumann perspective. He'll be looking to hit that stone just on the brush side of that top rock. Has to navigate those two stones of his own at the back of the rings, but if he hits just off nose, should be able to get the stone safely through. Stone on its way for Alexander Baumann. Big weight.
He's close.
1, 2, hit it a bit thick and he does jam. So there's that opportunity that you were talking about, Ann.
Yeah, I thought that might happen there. And that's the danger of leaving stones in the back of the rings when you...
I think he hit that one a little
thin.
Or a little thick. It had to be either really thin or really thick. But hit it really thin, you're going to lose the shooter. And I think just off nose, he might have been able to clip it, but we'll never know. It's all hypothetical. And the net result is Germany is still shot, but China's got the hammer, and that German stone is slated for removal here by Team China. Great chance now for Team China to get their deuce and tie this one up.
Oh, this stone is curling hard. They need to really work these brushes to hold this line.
It's half the rock. Will it stay in the rings? No, slides through the rings. Nice brushing there by Herberg. They're just asking to see if that stone's out of play or not. Leo Ray disappointed. He knows he needed to stick around to get his deuce, and now it's a get out of jail card for Team Germany. Bit of relief there for Alexander Baumann. He knows how fortunate they were. So he'll just want to compose himself and finish the job. He'll look to nose hit this and try to force Leo Ray to maybe stick around on an attempted blank attempt. So.
Yeah, you want your opposition skip to have to make something, even if it's something simple at this point. So throwing a really good rock, finding a nice line. Not sure this one's going to get to nose.
Oh, he will spill away, so no pressure at all for Leo Ray, who can just whistle this one through the rings, but they'll still choose a shot to play here, won't they, Ann?
Yeah, they won't just chuck it through. They will take this opportunity to learn a spot in the ice that maybe they haven't seen, throw a turn that might be helpful for later.
So a learning opportunity here for Team China. They are throwing it through, so they are going to blank this end, but Chance to learn a little bit more about one piece of the ice. So through the rings it sails. It's a blank end. 2 blanks in a row now for Team China. They carry the last stone into the fourth. After 3 ends of play, Germany leads it 2-0.
Bleiben Sie dran.
In the universe that is distinctively curling, the stars have now aligned to deliver the world's ultimate showdown to the world's entertainment capital. Whether you're a storied veteran of events past or a future superfan anxious to attend your first, this is the one. The 2018 World Men's in Las Vegas with our most popular package, the 9-day, 10-night hit and stay for 2 people for just $20.29.
Las Vegas rocks.
Nothing like a morning off school, Ann.
Yeah, nowhere better to be in the city of Edmonton than Northlands Coliseum for the Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2017.
So let's see how end number 4 unfolds. Just recapping how we've gotten to here. Germany playing a nice conservative first end and taking advantage to the maximum.
And this is a near identical start to the second end.
It really is deja vu all over again. Germany with the deuce in the first. China blank the second and the third to carry last rock here into the fourth. So in spite of Germany throwing that stone into the rings, and it's available for China to hit if they wanted to, once again, true to form, Team China elects the corner guard. They've been getting some half chances in. They've been getting half around guards and haven't quite made the killer shot yet. They've come pretty close.
They've come close. You can feel China.
It's a matter of time almost,
coming.
Isn't it? Yeah.
They're getting the setups, and as soon as they get the full shots.
Yeah, it'll be very difficult for Team Germany.
Ryan Sherrard's rock placement's going to come into play here. Getting those leads rocks in the best position possible is going to make Germany's life a little bit easier and hold off Team China.
Mentioned earlier in the show that Team China's on a bit of a roll after dropping their first 2 games. They've won 3 in a row, and this is a huge day for them at 3-2. Facing Germany this morning and then unbeaten Canada later on today. So Team China would have woken up this morning feeling pretty good about themselves and also knowing that they've got a big challenge in front of them today.
Yeah, both these teams face China later today.
Sang Xiaolang at 85% for the tournament so far. Shooting percentage terms. Straight back, so his stone sits in front of the German stone.
So true to form.
Setting up a little bit like the last end, isn't it?
True to form. Now let's see if Daniel Herberg can make this one. This is where he threw the dreaded silent peel. Hitting nothing. Still having a very nice tournament. An excellent player. Knows the game very well.
And as you'd expect, kind of corrects a little bit too much from the missed peel 2 ends ago and gets a little bit more of that stone than he wanted to. Does clear it away, but it is still a corner guard on the other side now and potentially useful for the Chinese.
Yeah, and the run is available for China to run their stone directly back, push it under the corner guard, and roll the shooter on.
So you could lie to one of them guarded.
Yeah.
That would be an amazing shot. But we saw this man make a fair number of amazing shots yesterday, so we know it's in the playbook for Ba Desheng.
Having a really nice opening couple of games to this tournament. Coming in at 84%.
Well, there is the run.
As we take a look over on sheet A, Sweden and Italy. Italy's skip Amos Mozaner needing a double takeout in order to secure a score of 1 after a fantastic draw by Nicodine around a rock in the top 12-foot. And he successfully does it and gets his 1.
So Italy on the board, but down 2 against Nicodine. So we'll see what Sweden does with the hammer now.
Nice hit and roll by Daniel Herberg here for Germany.
Tucks 3/4 behind cover.
Yeah, and it shows the side that
There's a smile.
you want to see. So it doesn't lead China under the corner guard, except with a precision run. Just beautiful technique from Ba Desheng. So calm, so controlled. Very quiet delivery, much like his personality on the ice.
Yeah. Curls up just enough, and that nice control weight really saved that shot. So China lies 1, and 2 guards on the wing there for them to use perhaps a little bit later in the end. Stone that Ba Desheng just threw is quite a dangerous one. The Chinese could tap that, they could go around it, they could run it. So a very useful shot. Now Manuel Walter. Needs to keep his stone in play, otherwise China would definitely go around those guards.
And he'd like to roll a little towards the 4-foot, because with that stone out in the 8-foot, I think Leo Ray is going to waste no time to take advantage of that corner guard.
That's exactly what he's indicating.
Yeah, Germany needed that shooter just to roll a little bit more, shrink the scoring area a little bit, and take that corner guard out of play.
So Xu Xiaoming at 78%. Been a bit hot and cold. He saw him hog a guard yesterday, which is quite uncommon, but we've also seen him make some absolutely fantastic freezes and come-arounds. He has very quiet rotation on his draws, and his come-arounds really do finish hard, and that one is
Yeah, and something's
square behind the guard.
going on there with the front end and Xiao Xiaoming's release. They're misjudging his rocks a little bit. There was plenty of room to get around that guard, and it had plenty of weight, and they were still sweeping. So there's a little something happening there that they need to tighten up. Team China needs to tighten up communication-wise in order to prevent those rocks from going behind the tee line.
So let's see if Manuel Walter can take advantage of that stone sliding behind the tee, and he'll try to sit in front of it, but this one also well by the guards and also looks a little warm. It's going to slide by the Chinese stone, and will it even stay in the rings? No, slides completely through the rings, so that's a big miss there for Team Germany and a huge opportunity now for Team China. You'd have to say it's a very bad miss. I mean, Manuel has been throwing pretty much nothing but hits, and so that's probably one of the only draws he's thrown in this game, and you really want to miss that one light if you're going to miss it anywhere, really, aren't you?
Right, and you really want to involve your sweepers, right? You want to let your sweepers play the game. So whenever you take your sweepers completely out of a shot, and we're seeing this right now, from Team China as well.
Good looking weight though.
Yeah, it's much better weight, and they're waiting for the line.
Trying to keep in front of the tee line if they can. They want to sweep it, but they really can't. This one just slides just again slightly behind the tee line, so a potential little wry smile there from Xi Xiaoming.
Says I threw less.
That's right.
I thought I threw less.
I really throttled back. It's an indication that the ice is really getting pacier now as we get through the week. On the first day of the event, there was definitely some frost in the ice, and the ice was quite slow, and the players were a bit frustrated. It was a bit sketchy, but looks like the pace on the draw now is coming up very nicely.
And the other thing that's starting to happen with these rocks is the rocks are settling in. We talk about them being very sharp at the beginning of a championship after head ice technician Jamie Barassa does a little bit of work, makes these stones curl a little bit more. They're starting to straighten out a bit, but don't read me wrong, there's still lots of movement in the ice out here.
Well, talk about movement. Alexander Baumann with the raised run back moves 2 Chinese stones. Almost pushes the third one out of the rings. That was a great shot and so close to the best possible result for Germany, but boy, oh boy, great run back. Have a look at it here on the replay. Bang, straight back.
And here comes that stone. Get over here, Daniel.
Come
sweep
on, Daniel,
that.
put your broom down and sweep it, man. He was congratulating his skip, as rightfully so. Great shot, but wait a minute, I got to sweep that one. Okay, does a nice job. Good recovery there, Daniel, and great shot, Alexander.
Yeah, Alexander knows he's got one more big one to make.
So we talked about the ability of this Chinese team to play the big weight in the runbacks, but Alexander Baumann showing that Team Germany can do the same. So after blanking the second and third ends, a challenge now for Team China. Need to bury this one perfectly to try and generate their deuce.
It's looking pretty good. They seem pretty happy with this.
Great shot
I think
there.
Leo Ray was hopeful that skip Alexander Baumann would play the run back again and set China up for a 3.
Let's update all the action here in the morning draw. On sheet A, Sweden is leading Italy 3-1. Switzerland with the same 3-1 lead over Scotland. Our feature game, Germany's leading at 2-0, and Norway and the United States are deadlocked at 3 after 4 ends of play. So some really tight contests here. So now Baumann with a very big shot for him after playing the big weight run back. Now has to make a very delicate play.
He's looking to freeze down to the Chinese stone.
Sweepers aren't laying a brush to it yet.
Starting to curl nicely. They should stay close. Starting to curl. Just too much weight. And with that, all of a sudden,
well, and through the rings as
potential
well.
3.
That brings 3 into play. So very bad result for Team Germany, and Baumann. You can see the disappointment. He knows that he's opened the door now after all the hard work of keeping Team Germany on top. Is that all going to be undone here on end number 4? Here we see that red German stone on the left-hand side of our screen. If Leo Ray can remove that and stick and not jam on the stone at the back, China will cash in a huge 3-point end. So after the great come around by Leo Ray, can he finish the job?
He's looking more and more comfortable with each moment out on that ice. More and more like the dominant skip that we saw at the 2014 Sochi Olympics.
He's made contact, but I don't know if he's going to stick around. He clips the German stone and just enough momentum to push it out of the rings. Wow. Bit fortunate there for Team China, but the deuce is on the board. Opportunity lost for the 3 for Leo Ray, but China's tied it up after 4 ends of play. We're deadlocked at 2.
In the universe that is distinctively curling, the stars have now aligned to deliver the world's ultimate showdown to the world's entertainment capital. Whether you're a storied veteran of events past or a future superfan anxious to attend your first, this is the one. The 2018 World Men's in Las Vegas with our most popular package, the 9-day, 10-night hit and stay for 2 people for just $20.29.
Las Vegas rocks.
Welcome back to the Northlands Coliseum for the Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2017. Hans Frauenlob with you with Ann Swisshelm. And Ann, China's tied it up and we've been waiting for their opportunity. We felt like it's been building for them and casting the deuce there in the 4th, but missed their opportunity for the 3.
Yeah, and you can see China setting up these ends in a really smart, tactically significant way. Now all they need is the finishing execution. And if they had had that in end 3 or in end 4, I think they'd be well ahead in this game. Germany has approached this game in a very defensive manner. It served them well in the first end. With a mistake from the Chinese skip, Germany had an opportunity to take 2. But since then, just felt that they've been a little behind in the calls, a little conservative in the choices they're making. And they are not capitalizing on the opportunities given by Team China, but China's done the same thing back right now.
Yeah,
so
we're dead even on the scoreboard, so Germany with the hammer again, so we're kind of back to where we started, I suppose. Germany had the hammer in the opening end and now playing end number 5 and heading for the 5th end break.
And Zhang Jialiang really set that stone out wide here. They are fighting hard to get that to come back to tick the German stone.
Oh, some pretty effective sweeping there by the Chinese to save that one for Zhang.
Yeah, just a little disappointed with that release. He had a really nice slide and just popped that release out a little bit.
So another chance now for Ryan Sherrard to come around that corner, center guard. Had a nice weight on his first one, but didn't quite bury, so he'll be looking to try and sneak a little tighter to that center guard this time.
Ryan, a really unique athlete, a PhD candidate living in Munich.
Beautiful
From
city.
New Brunswick, I believe.
Well, Munich would be a bit different than New Brunswick, I suppose, for Ryan. Great looking draw there from Ryan Sherrard. That's a beauty. Comes to rest almost full 8. Now let's pop back to look at Sweden versus Italy. And we see a bunch of red stones belonging to Nicodine around the fringe. And here's a chance for a hit for maybe 4.
Yeah, skip, Italian skip, Amos Mozzaner decided to go all in this end and threw a draw around his center guard, a very high center guard. Set wide open, left. Team Sweden an open hit for 4 and a commanding 7-1 lead.
So Nicholas Edin and his world champion teammates a little scrappy in the early going this week, but they seem to be finding form here in midweek.
Yeah, there was some thinking that Nick might have been under the weather a bit during his Canada game.
It's been a long season for all of these athletes. Oh, just squeaking it past that center guard. Actually feathered it and went around.
And still buried a bit of that rock.
It's the old double curl. Watch as it feathers this center guard, but it still keeps the rotation, so it goes out, and watch.
Team China keeps on it.
Stay on it, curl, curl, curl,
curls
and
a
it
little
finished
bit
a bit more. It's still half buried.
Leaves a tough shot for Daniel Herberg here, Team Germany. Trying to hold the line, get by that same guard, and they do.
Oh, nice brushing there.
Outstanding brushing.
Ryan Sherrard on the inside holding the line. Daniel says, thanks guys, nice job. Germany lies 2. With the hammer here on the 5th. We'll play 10 ends. If we're tied after 10, we'll go to an extra end. No ties in curling.
Yeah, there are no nil-nil contests in curling.
If you saw Major League, there's no crying in baseball. No ties in curling. There's a flop right behind the pile.
Pretty perfect hit and roll. But with that, the angles are very clean. You'll see how this goes. Just hits half a rock, pops underneath. But all those stones are lined up perfectly for a run double.
Daniel Herberg will attempt that run double.
Really putting a lot of action on the release on that stone.
Bang, 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 there they go.
Just gets the one Chinese stone hitting it that way. Lots of rotation and bang. Lots of rotation there. And he's doing that. Holds the speed, holds the line, and creates a little bit more bounce from the shooting stone.
And that's a release that the players really have to groove in practice. If they're going for that extra rotation with that big weight, it can be very difficult to control. So that's something that hours and hours on the practice sheet have to be spent to be able to throw that with confidence.
Thousands of rocks by yourself in the curling club or with your teammates in the curling club. And comes in handy at the World Championship. Xiao Xiao Ming with a much quieter release we've talked about. Softer rotation.
He makes the raise run. And now China lies 2. Nice play by both teams here in the 4th. The 5th rather. Manuel Walter. This one seems to be tracking wide a little bit. He's got contact, but looks like he's going to roll away. Germany with the hammer, but good chance here for China to set up a possible force. By force, we mean forcing the other team to take a single point with the hammer.
And then they give up that last stone advantage. Every time a team scores, the last stone advantage shifts to the opposition.
So Xu Xiaoming slightly deep with a couple of come around attempts in the previous end. This one comes to rest, top 4 foot, good weight control there, so he's made the adjustment.
Yeah, and his sweepers have actually made the connection to his release. So they know when to sweep. A nice look at those brushes there, trying to guide that stone just at the end, make sure they don't lose anything. Stay nice and close, take care of their responsibilities.
So that forces Germany into an attempted run back. No run back there, so they're just going to be content to clear the guard and peel it away. So great chance now for China to lock in the force. Manuel Walter. German third stone, but Daniel Herberg actually playing the vice position and calling the last rocks for Alexander Baumann. "12 nations here competing in this event. They're playing a full round robin. That means 11 games. We're about the midpoint of the competition now. Top 4 teams will advance to the playoff round. Liu Rui. Teams from the Pacific Asia region qualify through the Pacific Asia Championships to come to these World Championships. 2 Pacific nations here at the event this year, China being one of them, and this year Japan being the other Pacific Asia team. Here's a quick look at the standings we referenced. Canada's topping the table at 5-0. We saw Switzerland and Sweden at 4-1. We see China there at 3-2. So they're in a real dogfight for that 4th playoff spot. Look at that. We've got 4 teams currently on 3-2 and 2 at 2 and 3. So today is going to be a telling day for everybody. So nice guard there by China. We mentioned they're multiple Pacific champions, but this year Japan actually won their, not first ever, but first for the Morozumi team Pacific Asia Championships, and they've been really quite frustrated not to be able to come here as Pacific champions. So the Morozumi team are quite happy to be Pacific champions this year.
And on the other side, Team Germany's here by virtue of their performance at the Europeans.
Top 7 teams out of Europe directly qualify, and then the 8th European team comes through a qualification between the European B flight winner and the 8th ranked A flight team.
And that is Team Netherlands this year.
Yep, Van Dorp's young Dutch foursome making their first World Championship appearance, and delighted to be here, still looking for their first win.
And a pretty good shot by Germany, but unfortunately they're not shot.
Yeah, just about everything they could do, but leave themselves in shot rock position. And you see Herberg and Baumann surveying their work. Yellow stone belonging to China. China has to be a bit careful now. Germany does have the hammer, and so even though Germany's not shot, so after that discussion, Ann,
Team China settled on the best place to put this rock is second shot in the back of the forefoot on the side.
brave.
They understand that Germany would have an opportunity. They could also throw a guard here. This ice might actually be for the guard as well. And
Guard would be maybe a more conventional play, but we'll just have a look here as Liu Rui slides toward us. A couple of options here for Team China. We saw them discussing them before the shot.
yeah, they're trying to go into the forefoot here. They want to sit behind the other stone that's there.
Not wanting to leave Germany a double takeout for a deuce. Wow. That's real confidence in your draw weight to try and play that shot. And is it still there?
Oh, you have to throw so much weight. Might still be there for Germany just to, he's gonna give it a go.
He has to hit just off the nose of that shot to try and spill his stone to the right. He just has to nudge that Chinese stone maybe 5 centimeters and he'll count 2. So he doesn't have to knock it out of the rings, he just has to move it. But even to move it, he's gonna have to throw a missile at this stone on the button.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to throw a counterclockwise rotating shot. And what that allows him to do is come off the face of the Chinese stone and move directly sideways instead of deep.
So last stone on its way for Alexander Baumann, trying a jump shot, trying to hit the Chinese stone and flick to the left and nudge it. Not quite good attempt, but it's a counting of 1 for Germany. So after the brave call from Team China, they get the result. It's a force. Germany's score is 1, but it's really mission accomplished for China. A smile from Baumann. He said, I gave it a try, not quite. As we go to the 5th end break, Germany breaks on top. They're leading it 3-2. Highlights of our feature match, Germany versus China. Play on the 1st end. Last stone to come for Germany's Alexander Baumann. Great chance here in the 1st end to score a deuce. Nice control weight hit for Baumann, right on the nose, and Germany with a fantastic start, leading it 2-0 after the 1st. And number 4, China now with last rock. 1 to come for Liu Rie. Playing the in-turn control weight. Needs to stick around to generate his pair. But instead clips it thin, rolls away. Fortunately has a saver on the back 12, so he gets his deuce, but opportunity lost for China, might have been a 3. In the 5th end, lots of rocks in the 4-foot. A brave last stone called by China, going just to the back button, and a very steep attempt at a double takeout here for Alexander Baumann to try and get his pair. Has to throw the big weight, hammers the stone, but not enough to nudge the other Chinese rock. Gets his 1, it's a force for China, and at the midpoint of the game, Germany 3, China 2. Updating you now, Switzerland versus Scotland, and a big one here.
Yeah, and Switzerland has Scotland in a very challenging position. Switzerland sitting 1 on the back of the button under full cover, requiring skip Dave Murdoch from Team Scotland to play an up weight, in off. Hard sweeping from Michael Goodfellow. And
whoa,
what a shot from Dave Murdoch and company.
Let's go indeed, says Dave Murdoch. He's trying to lift his teammates there.
Puts a 2 on the board to tie it up.
Great stuff. Looking at the other games here on our Tuesday morning draw, Sweden with firm control over Italy, up to 8-1. Saw that last stone there by Scotland, leveling that one, 3-3, Switzerland, Scotland. And likewise, Norway and the United States also deadlocked at 3 at the 5th end break.
Das Resultat ist super. Das Resultat ist super. Druck machen.
Team Germany in
Würde helfen.
good spirits.
Nein, nicht nochmal 5 Ends, so wie gegen Japan spielen. Das muss das Ziel.
Marcel Rock
feel too stiff by yourself for sweeping, curl
Always
slow.
intense.
You feel for sweeping, start curling earlier. Okay. So this is about weight control, communication, and dealing with this for better rock placement. Okay? Yeah. So here,
他说那个就是这个场地就是头提线正好的力量的话，他基本上。
Let's take a look at the statistics at the fifth end break, and pretty level pegging actually. China with a little bit of a statistical advantage in the shooting percentages. No steals yet in this game. And that's reflective of the scoreboard. It's a tight one. Germany with now a 3-2 lead, but China's going to carry last rock into end number 6th and slightly outplaying the German team. Some of the atmosphere here in the Northlands Coliseum. The city of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, the provincial capital. Scene of many, many great sporting events over the years. This is just another one. Well, a bit of morning chicken here in Edmonton on a Tuesday. It's the rare curling chicken curling pin. Returning to our feature match, Germany versus China. The Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2017. Hans Frauenlob here, joined by Anne Swisshelm. It's going to be a pretty exciting day, I think, Anne. We've got a great match here, and lots of other great games going on as well. So if you're a curling fan, as we all are, it's going to be a pretty interesting day.
Yeah, and Ryan Sherrard here, lead for Team Germany, starting us off in the 6th end. He's having a really nice day, increasing his shot percentage by about 5% today.
Come.
And Germany coming into this game 1-4, and fighting for their playoff lives, but in an interesting kind of way, sometimes it can take some of the pressure off the players and they can just play their game. They're not really thinking so much about being at the top of the standings. They know it's a long way back, and they just realize that they have to play the game right in front of them, don't they?
Yeah, and for Team Germany, I think they're looking at a longer range kind of performance arc. But here we've got Team China and Zhang Jialiang with his very steady performance, right there at 83-84%.
And talking about that performance arc, the teams here trying to win a world championship, obviously, but also trying to get valuable qualifying points. This is the last direct qualification opportunity for the Pyeongchang 2018 Winter Olympics, and 7 countries will qualify directly for the Olympics.
And with that, knowing those only 7 that get direct qualification at the end of this week, you have to look at every rock as an opportunity to learn and help prepare yourself. For some teams, it's going to be prepare yourself directly for those Olympic Games. For these other teams that don't qualify at the end of this week, it's going to be about preparing themselves for that Olympic qualifier in December and getting one of the last 2 spots and making your way to Pyeongchang in February of 2018.
So in regards to that Olympic qualifying event, of the teams here that don't actually directly qualify, they will be eligible to play in that Olympic qualifying event. So if Team Germany somehow doesn't directly qualify, they are eligible for that Olympic qualifier. Same applies to Team China. So lots to play for everybody here this week.
Yeah, and Daniel Herberg has had his struggles today, as we can see. Comes in, having had a very steady kind of performance. Today he's down near 75%. We saw a missed hit, a hit and a roll out. But with nice precision there. Sits right on the nose. Has no trouble.
Samuel happier with his work here in the second half of this game.
恭喜
直接
啊！
问那一个点，后边那个，我直接再来点儿，蕊哥。这点其实都再来点儿，再来点儿。那这点就得回车呗，一点点，八区的这个，我出刷外面偏一点。
Saw the teams with their coaches at the fifth end break and heard Chinese coach Marcel Rock emphasizing stone position. Da Deshen trying to position this stone in a place that would let China generate their deuce with the hammer here. Small bump at the front, German stone, and nestles nicely in the pocket. Herberg being asked to play up weight.
You see that little in, out, out turn. Gonna pick this one right over the top.
Oh, nice shot.
Really nice shot from Daniel Herberg there.
Picks the Chinese stone clear, clips his own, but positions it directly behind the one on the tee line, so saves two shooters and keeps the force on for Germany. Now China's going to attempt to use that corner guard. Thrown up at the beginning of the end by Zhang Jialang.
可以啊，正常，正常的啊。
起步！可以放！放！
This rock should start to move pretty significantly if it's got the right weight. Should tuck all the way around this corner guard. It's a bit heavy, sliding to the back part of the rings. Does stay for second shot and is completely covered. You can see how much curl that rock gets
Finished huge.
when it gets to the rings.
Baumann calling 80 to his teammate Manuel Walter.
Yeah, who really needs just a simple execution here. He had a couple of awkward throws in the fifth end. Got kind of half production out of both of them.
Noses it, runs it back and picks it off well.
Maybe not how they drew that call up, but wonderful result nonetheless.
As plan B goes, that's a pretty good plan B.
Yeah, and where Skip Alex Baumann was sitting, he didn't even know the angle on that, I don't think. He had some idea, but then he said,
Sorry about that,
sorry about that.
but we'll take it.
But one of the things about curling is fortunate bounces. They do count,
Absolutely.
unintended or not.
Sometimes it's not how they get there, it's just the fact that they're there. Another nice come around there by the Chinese. Again, slightly sliding behind that tee line though, so a chance here for the Germans and a decision to make.
Now he's going to call it.
That's the curse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oxig again. In my limited German, that's 80, so it'll be a weight communication for Manuel Walter.
A little bit better line for the peel.
Hoping to save the shooter and maybe position in front of that stone on the tee line. Little spin back, not a bad stone there from Walter. Would have loved to cover that shot rock and take away the freeze attempt here for China, but interesting end panning out here. 3 German stones in the rings.
基本上一个球，正好一个球。
对，
磕了一点儿，
黑一点儿。
直接给他磕出的呢。
10缺。
磕输了你就得甩过来，甩到这儿了。那他要找的话，有可能有相关。
给他传到10区。啊，给他传到10区。11。
So the front end giving a little bit of input.
As we've seen often in this tournament, Zhang Jialang, kind of the straw that stirs the drink for Team China, just giving some input.
Xiao Ming having an excellent game at 90%. Yep, I like this call for him. Play the tap, sit 1 and 2 with lots of backing. Uh-oh, so over-curled.
Over-curling, so now they are shifting to their plan B, which is clip the top one and roll away from the pile. So not really the preferred shot there for Xu Xiaoming. It's something to work with. Let's take a look now at Norway, USA. We're tied up at 3, but interesting opportunity here for Team USA, Ann.
Yeah, John Schuster, Team USA skip, being left a port to handle 2 Norwegian stones in the forefoot with a double takeout just through the port. Smashes those rocks. Big score of 4.
Wow, great shot there from John Schuster and a big woo from Team USA. They know how big that was in the context of this game and their week.
Yeah, and a 7-3 lead going into the break.
Low 5s there from third player Tyler George, and a huge 4 for the USA. They are fighting for their playoff lives, and Norway is one of the teams they're fighting with, so that's a big head-to-head battle for them.
Yeah, as you said earlier, it is moving day for these teams in the round robin. Everybody looking for a 2-win day.
Team China, one of those teams looking for a 2-win day. They'll be playing host nation Canada later on today, but right now they've got their hands more than full with Team Germany.
Yeah, and an excellent simple hit and stick by skip Alexander Baumann from Germany is likely going to leave Team China with a double on their last rock to score 2. In order to make that happen, they've got to make this shot here.
Red rocks belong to Germany.
Very steady play from skip Liu Ray.
Playing the out turn.
Just want to roll under a bit.
Oh, very
Nice
nicely
shot.
played. Very nicely played. Just quiet weight. You don't often play the quiet weight when you're throwing a double takeout, but he was concerned about saving his shooter and not less worried about making the double. Good shot.
Yeah, and this now, Germany really has to play the takeout here. There's no real safe place to roll. You could hit soft and roll towards the Chinese stone on the side of the 8-foot.
But if you catch it thin, you run the risk of rolling underneath it and rolling out. Yeah, exactly. So not much room for error here for Alexander Baumann.
Having a wonderful game at 82% so far. First goal for this rock is remove the Chinese stone.
Wants to stick around, rolls to the edge of the 8-foot, so makes that double attempt for China a steep one, and it'll be interesting to see if Liu Ray makes a chance to play it or not.
Yeah, and I wonder if
It might be a jam.
It might be a jam. It might clip the Chinese stone. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at the angles. Zhang Jialiang comes down. Experienced skip himself, adding some input. Whole team's in on this one.
This one's
And the skip is on the other end. He knows what he wants to do. Quit talking about it, boys. Let's just make it.
That's right. I'm ready to throw it, guys. Get down here and sweep it for me.
Yeah, he is all set.
Xu Xiaoming taking a very careful look at the angles. He knows how close it's going to be to jamming his own stone if he makes this shot. So contact point precision and agreeing on that contact point, essential here for Team China. Chance for a deuce, but a tough shot coming up here for Liu Rui.
And he must be feeling some doubt from his teammates. So after those discussions and that body language, so he's really going to have to dig deep for this. He just set that out a little bit.
He did. Is it going to come back at all?
This is a...
Wow. Open miss for China. So after all that decision and indecision, a huge miss for China and a great steal of 2 for Germany. So just like that, this game has turned around, and Germany with the steal of 2 go up 5-2 after 6.
In the universe that is distinctively curling, the stars have now aligned to deliver the world's ultimate showdown to the world's entertainment capital. Whether you're a storied veteran of events past or a future superfan anxious to attend your first, this is the one. The 2018 World Men's in Las Vegas with our most popular package, the 9-day, 10-night hit and stay for 2 people for just $20.29.
Las Vegas rocks.
Welcome back inside the Northlands Coliseum here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Hans Fraum up here with Ann Swisshelm for the Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2017. And a bit of a lightning bolt there in the last end. China, after a long discussion, a long look at the angles, an early departure from the skip to go and throw the shot. His teammates standing around still looking at the angles. Liu Rui blows it by on an attempted double takeout. And an unexpected but very welcome steal of 2 for Team Germany.
Yeah, I think there was no doubt that Team China was not on the same page. They were exhibiting fear. They were looking at worst case scenarios. The third was talking about what could go wrong. And I'm not sure that enough of them were talking about what could go right and how to make the shot in front of them. And Skip, Liu Rui was looking like he was on an island by himself throwing that rock. And you know, this is a connected team sport when you are performing at a high level, and you need each other. And just really, I think, some very challenging communication for Team China. And that led to some poor technique.
Yeah, Liu Rui floated that one definitely, but yeah, that whole shot just felt a bit sketchy for Team China, and the net result was a miss. And now swinging it around for Alexander Baumann and Team Germany. Now you're finding yourself unexpectedly 3 up here in the late going. How are you going to approach this end?
Well, you're going to want the play in the rings. I don't know that you exactly want the stones sitting where they are right now, but play in the rings. China's going to put up two corner guards. Being down 3 in the latter stages of a game, they're going to have to go really hard for their 2 hope for a half shot somewhere along the line, and maybe set up a three.
There are the two corner guards. Updating action on sheet A, Nicholas Edin and his Swedish team have defeated Italy by a score of 8-2. So that one is over early. Italy concedes defeat and Sweden rolls on.
And Germany, sticking to plan, gonna peel those corner guards for as long as they can.
Nice clear there from Daniel Herberg. Missed a clear earlier in the game, but he seems to have locked in now.
Badushen calmly putting that stone into play.
You really like his delivery, don't you, Ann?
I really do. It's so controlled. He repeats it in the same way every single time. He's got very few variables that he's dealing with. The variables he's dealing with are really the specificity of his setup and then the slide speed he's got. His release looks the same every time. It's very easily repeatable delivery.
Daniel Herberg now with another attempted clear. Huge weight. Rips that guard, and so nice job there from the German second stone in this end. Kills two corner guards.
Now, even though this delivery is very calm, very quiet, very easy to repeat, you can have a delivery with a lot of action and a lot of movement. You just have to work a little bit harder at making it easy to repeat.
That really is the bottom line, isn't it? Slide straight, clean release.
Have it be predictable so that your skip knows how to ice you, knows what your rocks are going to do, and also so that your sweepers know how to judge them coming off your hand. The responsibility of the sweeper is significant, and the steadier a thrower is, the easier the sweeper's job is at knowing what kind of weight they're throwing.
Okay, so after a bit of a decision about maybe playing the stone in the top 4 foot, after a bit of discussion, saying let's just clear that corner guard.
Yeah, this is really a nice choice for Team Germany with a 3-point lead. Have China make the shot inside the 4 foot.
Well, after making the good call, the execution just wasn't there from Walter, unfortunately. They nosed that guard.
Yeah, and he's seeing his struggles today, for certain. It's not a terrible game, obviously, but it's just not quite as sharp as you need your third to be.
And that's a situation there where if you clear that corner guard and you're Germany, you're feeling pretty good about not dropping more than 2 at the very, very worst. But now you've left China and Xiao Xiaoming an opportunity to go around that corner guard now and generate maybe more than 2. Nice looking weight here. Trying to bury it. And not afraid to take it deep in the house. That will almost certainly have popped out the outturn side, but not something you'd really be tempted to play, I think, if you're Germany.
We'll see a nice angle coming in here. Rock just finishing, curling and curling. I kind of like playing the outside here. Yeah, and so if this comes up, you might fire your red one into the pile. You clear the corner guard if you over curl. And if you get the back one,
You get the back one.
you get the back one.
So Manuel Walter now with a few options here on this shot. And he gets the back one. So now is Leo Ray going to shift gears. There we see that stone well by that guard. Clips the Chinese stone. Looks to me now that Leo Ray is going to bring the play into that 4-foot area. Ann.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to just freeze right down into that pocket. Force Germany to take action.
It's going to be really a game of nerves here, isn't it? Germany with their stones behind. Threatening stones from China. China leaving Germany in shot rock position. It's who can hang on and blink first and if he's left standing at the end.
China really working hard. The sweepers really working hard front end, trying to tap this rock right on the nose, right into the pocket. Beautiful.
Oh, very nice stone there. So danger time for Team Germany, but let's take a look now at Switzerland, Scotland. They're tied at 3. We saw that great in-off from David Murdoch in the earlier end, and so now Benoit Schwartz with a draw attempt, trying to save it for the Swiss.
Facing 2 stones from Team Scotland in the rings. Needs a little bit better than full 8-foot.
Cool as you like.
Wonderful throw from Benoit Schwartz.
So Switzerland goes ahead 4-3, but that one is very tightly poised. Back to our feature match, Germany versus China, and Alexander Baumann throwing some weight.
Throwing an up weight tick over the top, trying to, oh, that's a nice shot actually. With that, he might be holding China to a score of 2.
Removes one of the Chinese stones and repositions them. Germany holding shot. Oh, fantastic look at it here from the sweeper's perspective.
Just ticks that stone.
The Chinese stone is locked on top of the shot rock. It's not going anywhere, but you're going to have to move it. And there's a look at the overhead. Red stones belong to Germany. Yellow stone belonging to China, frozen right in front of it.
Yeah, and for Team Germany, you are not getting that China stone out. You only have 1 rock left, and you need 2 to get it out. So you're going to have to do everything you can to hold China to a single point here.
So what's the play now then for Leo Ray? Is he just going to try and maybe just wiggle the stone a little bit and freeze on top of his own? Just maybe nudge that red stone back a fraction?
Yeah, there's a couple of options for Leo here. But I think he's going to try and sit right to the nose.
Force Baumann to make a perfect guard or some other play, and then if Baumann makes an error, then generate a 3 that way.
Yeah, the shot I was interested in seeing Leo try is actually a little hit and roll off the one on the side of the 4-foot towards the corner. Just sits anywhere in the 8-foot.
So an interesting choice now for Germany. Well, Ba's a little bit disappointed, so.
Yeah, that sat on the wrong side of that stone. I'm not sure that stone's actually going to be in play.
So choice for Germany. You could just leave it there and say, okay, how are you going to score with that rock? You can make a play on that stone, and you know it's going to jam, and you could get rid of 1 Chinese stone, but you're in some real risk there.
Yeah, but if you're China and you play on your top yellow, it's only for 1. So China's going to have to get to that spot on that middle yellow stone and tick it sideways in order to get 2 points here.
Talked about the mixed doubles discipline in curling, and that's going to be a full medal discipline at the Pyeongchang Olympics, and this looks very much like a mixed doubles end. Stones clustered around the button area. Angles, frozen.
Yeah, Germany needs to sit anywhere on the right side of the center line, touching the center line.
So doing, they cut off the path for China.
Yeah, China needs access to that middle stone in order to score 2 points.
So after that big steal of 2 in the previous end, Alexander Baumann now
He hasn't
trying to generate maybe another steal and possibly a force.
Yeah, he hasn't thrown many touch shots. Most of his shots have been takeouts this whole game. This is his first guard of the game.
Just like you called it, Ann, on the right side of that center line, so that's where you were wanting it to be.
Yeah, it's a lovely shot. I wonder if there's any kind of slash on the outside. I think that's all China's got. Looking to hit is thin.
So it's a very straightforward shot for a 1. The question now is, can they somehow get 2?
Not with this. But China also recognizes that they can't afford to give up another steal of a point.
That would be fatal at this point of the contest. So it's looking to us like Leo Ray is just going to raise his own stone onto the German stone of the button and be content to take his 1.
Yeah, concede the angles to Germany.
Shot made, but it is a force. It's a count of 1 for China, but nice end there from Team Germany. They defended well, and as we head for the 8th end, surprising to some, but Germany leads at 5-3. They'll take the hammer into the 8th. Welcome back inside the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton for the Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2017. Live from Edmonton, Hans Frauenlob here with Ann Swisshelm, and Team China now playing the 8th with the hammer, without the hammer rather, 2 down, and they're gonna have to scrap their way to victory for this one if they're hoping to prevail today, Ann.
They are, but the goals that they've got are really clear. They need to have double center guards. They need to steal all the way out at this point.
So for Team Germany now, it's a matter of holding their nerve. Let's take a look at the lead positions, Ann.
And actually, both leads are playing really well. I mean, Zhang Zhaliang, much more experienced lead than Ryan Sherrard at this level. And that's, I think, the difference. And Zhang Zhaliang is playing the same types of shots over and over again. He's been throwing corner guards and come-arounds, corner guards and come-arounds. He's thrown maybe 1 or 2 hits, and he's just a very steady player, so he gets the statistical edge.
Baumann asking Sherrard to draw to the Draw to the wing, it's a defensive play, but it's exactly the play you'd expect the Germans to make in this situation. They've got a 2-point lead and they've got the last rock.
Yeah, and the reality is for Germany, if they score even a single point here,
In great shape.
they're in outstanding shape. So our intense Chinese lead, the source of all energy for Team China.
这样 OK， 只是力量。
Sang Xialang.
Trying to set this rock just over the hog line. This is actually one of the hardest shots in the sport of curling.
Absolutely it is. The long, long guard.
And he throws it beautifully.
It's a great shot.
Just a great shot there. I'd be tempted to give him a bonus point on the stats.
That's right, you get 5 for that, Zhang. Very well done. The reason that has been asked to be set so long is that China doesn't want to allow Germany the chance to double clear the guards, and they're getting big separation there.
Yeah, the double takeout is really, really difficult.
There's stones in the free guard zone, the first 4 stones of the end. You can move your opponent's stone, but you can't take it out of play. Now Germany deciding to come into the center of the rings. Nice shooting there by Ryan Sherrard, top 4, and behind cover. Get a look at Ryan. So here we go.
A really nice setup for both teams, actually.
Here we go. This one's going to be entertaining, folks. Stick around. Ba Disheng being asked to play the freeze.
Oh, and this is curling really hard, really hard.
Over curls the freeze, but nestles into an intriguing spot in the top of the 4-foot. Let's take a look at Norway versus USA, Ann.
USA, lots of rocks in the rings. Kind of full control. Norway needing a nose hit to secure a score of 1.
Stefan Wallstedt. Just rolls off the button, and so it looks like it might be a steal for the USA. Confirmation that it was indeed a steal, and so John Schuster and his teammates firmly in control now of that match.
And here, after Germany elected to peel that really high guard from Team China and do so successfully. Ba Dushen's being asked to replace it.
Another one of these tricky long guards, and they want to be on the center line as well. Very nicely played.
Now, if I was Team Germany, I'd like to see it. Now, that's a great guard. And you can see, look at this.
Comparing the second stones, Herberg and Va, pretty much even picking.
Yep, and Herberg hasn't thrown a draw. That's the difference. He's thrown a single type of shot all game.
And there's another one.
Nicely played.
Sometimes when you're playing that second position, you're kind of going all through the game like this, and you're kind of getting to the late going, so I'd really like to throw a draw at some time, but at some point the game just doesn't give it to you.
Well, I mean, it's very clear that Germany's game plan was pretty defensive, and in particular, once they opened with that score of 2, that their second was going to be hitting and peeling the entire game, and he has been.
Xu Xiaoming, again trying to throw that long center guard. Nice execution here from Team China. That's 3 of these very difficult long guards that they've absolutely nailed. Baumann again, patiently asking Manuel Walter to try to clear this time. Saw him nose an attempted clear on the last end. This one looks much better. Nice job. Play here on end number 8 and comparing the thirds positions. Xu Xiaoming with a statistical edge there. Manuel hasn't made a draw yet, hasn't thrown very many to be fair, but
He's thrown 2 downweight shots, and you know, that's going to be tough execution when your second doesn't throw any draws. Where to set the broom, how to sweep them. You're not seeing a lot of draws for Team Germany, so those are going to be a little bit more challenging execution-wise.
big decision here for China. Let's listen to them discuss this shot. Well, quick discussion, and Su Xiaoming's sent on his way. Liu Rui has made up his mind what he'd like to play. Interesting situation here, Ann. There's a few choices you could make.
Yeah, you could put up another long center guard. It's pretty clear what Germany would do, and this is just a kind of a cat and mouse game at this point. Who's going to pounce first? And China electing to deal with the shot stone on the side of the forefoot. And with that, takes good control of the forefoot.
China knows that Germany's got the hammer in this end, and if China was to drop a deuce here, it would be pretty much game over for them, so they eliminate the German shot.
Yeah. I think just I'd like to see this straight peel into the pile on the right side of the screen. It doesn't matter your shot in the back 12 foot right now.
So we see Alexander Baumann taking a look in that direction,
Yeah.
so that looks like the play. They're going to play the peel, but like to get some action on those stones on the wings as well.
Yeah, this looks like a big, delicious opportunity for Germany to get rid of a bunch of trouble rocks.
Let's watch the angles.
It's
He's hit the
close,
high
it's
side.
close, it's close. Oh, they get the most disastrous.
Oh, no.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. Just an unlucky management of the angles there. Bang, bang, jam, roll right to the button. Oh no. All of a sudden,
That actually
Germany's wearing the Chinese jerseys.
is going.
And he knows. He goes, you
Come
couldn't draw
on.
it up that way.
Come on.
Rye smiles from the knowledgeable back end.
Wimberg and Baumann saying, okay, well, stay calm. We've got the hammer.
Yeah, and there's still good news here. That rock on the button is in the back of the button. And Germany can get to it. They only need 1 point here.
It's Germany 2 up, playing the 8th end, 10 ends scheduled. Mission for Team Germany in this end, as Ann just pointed out, is simply to score. But China now sensing a great opportunity to steal. Taking a look now at the action between Norway and the United States, and Norway has conceded defeat. USA run out 9-3 winners. That's a huge win for Team USA after a tough day yesterday, but a big win for them against a potential playoff contender there, Ann.
Yeah, and they pull even with each other in the standings, which was very important for USA to start knocking off the teams that are right around them if they are to have hopes of achieving their goal of being up on that podium again this year.
Big weight here from Alexander Baumann of Germany, trying to run this stone back and clear some Chinese rocks. 1, 2, stones in motion, but still 3 Chinese stones in the rings. Will it stay in play? Yes, it does. So now ratcheting up the pressure even more on Germany, and fantastic opportunity here for Liu Rui to sink one right on top of that one in the button, and that would make it almost impossible for Germany to score.
Yeah, Germany's going to have to hope for.
There we have a look at the comparison at the skip position.
And Alexander Baumann hitting extraordinarily well, whereas Liu Rui drawing extraordinary well, and both of them, I believe those are the shots they're going to need right here in this 8th end. An excellent draw from China and an excellent hit from Germany.
Question will be for Germany, will you have something to hit? Leo Ray has a chance to bury behind that center guard, and if he can get to his own, he could make life very difficult for Baumann. This is looking absolutely perfect. Maybe a foot short of where he would like to be, but has he left a chance for Baumann to draw to the pin in?
There might be a little window of opportunity for Germany.
So, this game that's had some drama. Open miss from Lou Ray. But this one just over curled, and we can just see that the pin is available right at the center. It's going to have to be really delicate. He's going to have to draw it cold. Just past back button weight just to move that stone back, but it is available, but boy, oh boy.
The mental
risky
process for this team has got to be just full forefoot.
Score.
And once we have the line,
sweep for the bump.
Sweep for the little button, sweep for the bump.
Last rock on its way, facing 4, Alexander Baumann of Germany.
Sweepers are right off. This rock's out in that straight path. Starting to curl, weight needs to come off. Starting to curl. Needs to come down.
Well, that's
And
not
it
a
does.
bad result. So it's a steal of 1 to China, but damage limitation for Team Germany. Baumann was hoping to score, but that's a pretty acceptable alternative. It's a steal of 1 to China. So after 8 ends of play, Germany 5, China 4.
In the universe that is distinctively curling, the stars have now aligned to deliver the world's ultimate showdown to the world's entertainment capital. Whether you're a storied veteran of events past or a future superfan anxious to attend your first, this is the one. The 2018 World Men's in Las Vegas with our most popular package, the 9-day, 10-night hit and stay for 2 people for just $20.29.
Las Vegas rocks.
Welcome back inside the Northlands Coliseum. Some of the international media here at this event. You're watching live coverage of the Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2017. Hans Fraunhof here with Ann Swisshelm. We hope you're enjoying the action in this riveting contest between Germany and China. Germany came into this game 1-4. China came into this game 3-2. I've called Tuesday moving day here at the World Champs, and the Germans here looking to hang on here in the stretch drive. China edging closer though with that steal of 1 in the 8th end. And so what are the plans for this team as we're heading for the stretch?
Well, China is gonna they're just gonna try and steal out. They did an excellent job placing guards in end number 8, and we'll need to do so in 9 and 10 again. Germany got a little bit of unlucky bounces and angles in end 8, but the end was really saved by an outstanding draw from skip Alexander Baumann, and very impressive shot. And a nice start here for Germany in 9.
So a different tactic being chosen by Baumann this time. In the 8th end, he decided to draw the wing with Ryan Sherrard's first one. This time he's asking Ryan to come around the center guard, and Ryan makes a beauty.
Yeah, he's switching tactics a little bit. So, but I think if you had started this game, and this is what Germany needs to remind themselves of, if you had started this game and we told you you'd be up by a point, you'd have the hammer in the 9th end, Germany would say, all right.
Ja, danke schön.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, we can finish this out. China is one of the tougher performers in the latter stages of a game.
Well, we saw that shooting percentage of Lou Ray on his draws in the 90s, and he loves throwing those draws and freezes and can make them at will. So you do see a lot of those kinds of shots in the late ends of games, and you're right. Team China, they grind their opponents down with that awesome array of shots that they've got.
Yeah, and they're very deliberate, they're very patient, and they push and they push and they push, and they're going to push Team Germany to make their shots of a lifetime here to get this win today. Both these teams have to play Canada later on today.
Right.
They know that Canada is the hottest team in this tournament, undefeated, and a huge challenge. This is a must-win game for both Germany and China right now.
Sherrard doesn't want the bump, and that comes to rest in the top forefoot. So 2 very nice stones in this end by German lead Ryan Sherrard. Sets them up well. Talked about the free guard zone rule. The first 4 stones of the end can't be removed, and since the introduction of that rule, and my contention is in a curling team, it is a team of equals, but really in terms of strategic importance, the lead position comes only after the skip position in terms of being crucial to the team's success.
Yeah, your lead has the opportunity to secure your tactics, your strategies, your game plan. And any kind of misplacement of the lead rocks really changes everything that you're trying to accomplish in an end.
So if you're a new curler to the sport and somebody's asking you to play lead, say thank you. That means they're valuing your skill.
We're going to get a little bit of a conference.
Let's listen to the Team Germany discussion.
Haben wir am Ende nicht zu viel? Dann da rumliegen. Nur den weg. Nicht in den Shot schieben. Den weg. Den darüber. Ja. Geht er wieder. Das kann er. Aber dann sind wir offen. Dann können wir reinhauen. Okay. Nur ein. Ein bisschen aufmachen, quasi, dass wir halt in der Mitte mehr Platz kriegen. Genau. Aber wenn du beide nimmst. Die Frage, ob er jetzt nochmal eine Gas spielt, erstmal davor, glaube ich. Wahrscheinlich, oder? Aber wenn du beide nimmst, hast du die Gefahr, dass er hinten reinrammt.
I think I heard Daniel say nur ein, which in German means only one, so he's just going to try and peel this one guard off. Talked about the double clear, but there'd be some risk of some jams and bad things happening.
And they're maybe a little
gun shy after
the last end. Right, fair enough, but and getting rid of one of those stones.
Nicely executed by Herberg. Opens up the front now for Team China, but they're going to set a guard. As Ann said, their formula for victory is to steal out from here. Steal 9, steal 10. Badishing. Just like they drew it up.
Great placement there. Nice separation. There is no double peel. That's
easy.
Easy. Not that double peels are ever easy, but some are more natural than others. On a more forgiving angle. 2 nice shots from Daniel Herberg there. And he's sticking with his I don't throw draws
That's right, not in the job description for this game.
你喜欢哪个？你全让他打打不出去，扎一个好点。
Red stones belong to Germany. They've got the hammer here in end number 9, but that stone of China threatening at the top of the forefoot.
提线，656，提线，6提线，7步，7步。
They're waiting and waiting, waiting for the right line.
提线，提线啊，我来，我。
Going to be a little contact here, a little bump. That rearranges and changes the angles a little bit now.
Yeah, that was a little bit heavier than I think they wanted. And this is an opportunity for Germany to...
Still some danger. And
Nose is perfect.
Nose is perfect. There we go. We're having German lessons today. The Nase ist perfekt. Absolutely right. Again, some risk here, though, for Manuel Walter. Can't really be high side.
Throwing a normal weight. Inside nose is not the worst. Might be able to get rid of both of these.
Springs the frozen stone away, so gives the Germans a little bit more scoring real estate to play with, which was really what they were going for with that shot, wasn't it?
Yes.
Germany not worried about scoring 2, although they'd love to, but they do want to score. Alternatively blank, but that's not looking very likely at this point.
Xiao Xiaoming needs to throw about the same weight that he just threw. They're going to let it curl up, try to come to the corner of the red stone in the rings. It's starting to move, it's starting to get there. Nice shot by Team China.
So once again, Team China creating problems for Team Germany by throwing their stones in front of German stones.
Helping to develop the back guard.
The back guard and Swiss Helm's back guard trending globally in this game.
What Manuel Walter would like to see trending globally is a little double takeout. This rock needs to curl a bit, get right inside these two. Well done. Really nice shot.
Very nice stone there from Manuel Walter, repositioning the Chinese freeze sideways and unlocking it a little bit. Real game of cat and mouse here on end number 9. You can see the angle in now on the outside. Let's look at the replay on Manuel's shot. It's across the face of the top stone, nudges the Chinese stone sideways and wedges it into that little pocket on the left-hand side of our screen as we're looking at it here. Has created a pretty natural run-in here, though, for China. Pretty much an automatic to hit the red, run the yellow onto the red, and stuff the yellow behind guards.
Yeah, he's actually looking to sit, I think his shooter, he's looking to get on the inside of this red.
Roll his shoulder in
just in a
behind
little
the guard
bit,
a little bit.
underneath that corner guard that's out there, or the long half center guard, as it were.
Leo Ray, 64% on his hits, and he's throwing a hit here. Saw him.
He needs a real good one here.
Oh, just by the guard. So close.
I think that stone might have picked a little bit, grabbed a spot.
You could hear panic in the Chinese voices as it was heading towards
Look
our...
at this.
Watch, look for the spark. Oh, man.
Wow. Wow. What a shot.
It's a millimeter from disaster, but a great result for Team China. Ba Dixing desperately sweeping and holding the line there.
Yeah, I was worried he's going to get taken out on the on the tick of the guard.
Leo right say, yeah, had it all the way. Why'd you wait so long, Chu?
Now Alexander Baumann needs something a little special here on this.
Is he playing the back of the two stones, do you think, Cam? Looks
I think
like
so.
it. A little inside flop would be golden. Gets it. China is still shot rock. Germany with the hammer. Good news for Germany relative to the last end is the button area is much more available than it was in the eighth.
Yeah, you have more than a centimeter of space.
That's right.
Congratulations,
you can
Skip Baumann.
You can see the nail this time.
Yeah. And you might only have to be full 4 or full button. So
China is electing to play the intern side to try and cut off a little bit of that 4-foot.
yeah, I think they're trying to actually get full 4-foot underneath those rocks that you're seeing in the 8-foot. The yellow-red combination.
That would reduce the target area even more for Alexander Baumann and also make him look at 2 instead of 1. Intriguing ninth end here at the Ford World Men's Curling Championship in Edmonton, Alberta. Feature game, Germany, China. We're heading for the home stretch, folks. Hard work from Zhang and Ba, really trying to drag this as far as they possibly can for second shot. I don't think so. It looks like it's going to come up light. Just biting the 8-foot. Cuts off a little bit of the 4-foot, but is there a chance here now for Germany to maybe score 2 and maybe 3?
Yeah, it looks like they might have a chance for 3.
Tough shot.
And if it should ever curl up a little bit and touch that yellow shot,
Ooh, that could be tragic.
all of a sudden, China could be up 1.
So, all kinds of possibilities now in this last shot of the ninth end for German skip Alexander Baumann.
The risk reward, though, is absolutely worth it in this moment. He's just thrown down this path. He knows how to do it. They should know how to call it. Must be close. Oh no, did they pull that stone off?
Wow, so after all that, an opportunity for Germany is lost, and yet another steal for China. So this one is deadlocked at 5. Opportunity for Germany to maybe salt the game away, but that one ran straight. Steal of 1 for China after 9 ends of play. We are tied at 5. Welcome back inside the Northlands Coliseum here at the Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2016. Hans Frauenlob here with Ann Swisshelm as we move into the 10th, and we can almost certainly say final end because this game is tied at 5. China, after flashing a hit and dropping a steal of 2, have come back with 2 steals of their own in the 8th and 9th ends, and Germany's got the hammer here in 10, but they'll be pretty wobbly right now, Ann, after dropping consecutive steals and having a great opportunity in the 9th to put the game away.
Really just a tremendous opportunity. It looked like the sweep was miscalled.
Yeah, they swept it early and a little panicked about perhaps over-curling and crashing a guard, and Stone tracked, didn't finish, and net result was a steal to China. So Ryan Sherrard for Germany now.
Being asked to play the tick shot. He's allowed to maneuver that rock around. Can't take it all the way out of play. Looks a little heavy here.
I think it's going to be pretty good. Is it going to hang around? Oh, that is absolutely perfect for Ryan Sherrard.
Oh, is that ever good?
Using the absolute maximum of the playing surface, he pushed that Chinese stone all the way to the back corner, lower right of our picture as you see it. That's as far as you can possibly move it without.
Still in play.
Yeah. Great shot.
2 inches from the boards.
For the lead players, and that's the equivalent of Skip making a triple takeout with the last rock, really, isn't it? That's as good as you can make it.
That's a run quadruple for a lead.
Okay, that's the upgrade.
Yeah. That's absolutely the most fun shot you can make. And given the set of circumstances, Germany really needed that kind of lift.
Absolutely right. Zhang Xilang doing what he needs to do, throwing up guards. China must steal this end to win the game.
And we get a little smile.
Sherrard is going to be asked to try the tick on the intern side.
It's like a little bit more weight, but he can run that yellow stone into the red stone on the side of the rings.
He's got a little bit more room to play with because of that second stone. Needs to hit it though. Pushes the Chinese stone deep in the house and through the house, so this time this one will come back. The free guard zone rule being applied here. So after one fantastic tick, second one a little bit more contact on the center stone than they would have liked. Needed to hit that a bit thinner. So something going now here for China. They've got one center guard, and they're going to try and stack them up now.
I think they're going to try and come right around.
Oh, they're going to go for it now. Okay.
Maybe not. This falls into my playbook. How many guards do you need?
And how many guards do you need, Ann?
You need one. And you can either have it be a guard in front or
a back guard.
Or a back guard. You need one though, Hans, and even though this is a really nicely placed shot, all it's doing is stalling.
So Daniel Herberg now bringing the heat. He's going to try to remove at least one of these guards. Interesting that Baumann didn't attempt to try and run it towards the pile and rattle them around a bit. Played the high side. But I guess after what happened with Manuel Walter's stone a couple of ends ago, maybe he's just being a bit cautious.
Yeah, the 8th end has them a little scared of the angles and the bounces. But I think you might want to look at it, you know, I'd recommend to Team Germany. That's probably not going to happen again. I was going to say,
it's happened once. Lightning striking twice is pretty unlikely, isn't it?
I mean, it's not impossible, but
percentages would say that it's
yeah.
likely that you're going to move a couple.
And what you like to see at teams at this level is that they're always playing for the made shot.
Yeah.
And
let's win the game as opposed to not lose the game.
Yes.
So now Herberg is going to be given the chance to throw on the intern side. So Baumann definitely thinking now about clearing more than one.
Right, and with this rock away, Daniel will not be allowed to throw a draw this game. Daniel, I do not throw draws. Herberg.
20 stones, 20 hits. All hits, all the time.
Yeah, and at a really high percentage. It's going to be up around 80%, 88% on hits.
No hits here for Xiao Xiaoming. China biding their time. They've got the guard that they need. Electing to still stack the guards and delay the moment that they're going to go into the house to try and go for their steal. Good separation again from China on those guard stones.
Oh, and I really like this call. I'm hopeful that I'm seeing.
Baumann looking like he might be playing the back of the two guards.
Yeah, the trouble rock, but nope. They're going for the front.
And by the trouble rock, you're saying because that's nearer the center line, nearer to the house, that's the likelier stone that the Chinese want to use to defend their steal point.
And a long guard, really, with how much this ice is moving, is not really a guard. It's visually intrusive to the thrower and might cause you to do a little bit more math, setting the broom down.
China now calling timeout, so a big decision now. And this is the decision point at the end. Do you go in now or do you throw one more guard? And they're going to talk about it and bring Coach Marcel Rock on the ice to be part of the discussion.
Yeah, Marcel's always an exciting timeout.
Let's see if Marcel's excitement translates into this opportunity. Here he comes.
Yeah, if you play the guard and make a mistake, he double peels, it's easy. But you don't need to go right here. If you come over here, then this might be your guard. No, not that high because he can play off this one. But this and then back four. Because this one here can also be your guard. But if you come too deep, he can get you easily. So, where is perfect? Where is perfect? No. You got to be able to come around it. You want to be able to come around this rock. You want to be able to use this as your guard. I'm going a 5. A 5. If you go too far, he comes around and follows you and chips you back and stays there. You come 5, and you got stuff to work around. So where is perfect? Where is perfect?
So, definite excitement in the timeout there. Marcel Rock making it very clear where he thinks the right rock position is. And after some discussion about going to the button, Marcel saying no, just be biting top 4. And that way, if they clear the front one, you can use the stone in the top 4 as a guard and come around it again on your final one. So Marcel being very clear to the team and asking them to confirm back to him, where is perfect? Where is perfect?
Is 5. And 5 is actually the 8 foot.
Yeah.
So full 8 foot directly underneath that yellow guard next to the Ford logo. That is the perfect spot, according to Coach Marcel Rock.
Any higher, and then the Germans could jump off their own stone. Any deeper, and the Germans could make it easily coming around it, according to Marcel. So let's see how the execution follows that intense discussion. Xiao Xiaoming being asked to throw around the center guard, full 8 foot.
Line looks very good. It's all about weight.
Well, this one's sliding deeper than they were intending, comes all the way to the tee line and back to it. So after the discussion and the consultation, Marcel Rock a little disappointed, saying that was deeper than I wanted it, boys. And Baumann immediately pounces on the center guard, asking Manuel Walter to clear it. So China now have used their single timeout, so it's up to the players now to make the tactical call. Taking a quick look at the time clock. China has 2:25 left on their time clock, and they have 2 rocks to play, so plenty of time available.
Germany has over 10 minutes. They're very clear tactics coming into this game. They scored 2, and then they were on the defense. Has led their choices to be really pretty easy, and everything happening very quickly. Tons of time on the clock.
So Alexander and Daniel can have a little coffee and a kuchen if they'd like before their last rock, but Leo Ray now has to make a perfect guard. Comes to rest just across the center line, and now it's a teaser for Baumann. He can see a corner of the shot rock. Do you play the front stone or do you play the shooter? And Baumann, without hesitation, says, we're clearing the front. But let's take a quick look now. Switzerland versus Scotland, key game for both of them. And here's David Murdoch.
His last shot here in the 9th end. Looking for a delicate little tap on a Swiss counter on the side of the forefoot.
Oh, surgical precision there for Murdoch. What a lovely stone. It's a 2 on the board for the Scots, and they take a 5-4 lead. Baumann back on our feature game makes the clear, and so here we go, folks. Leo Ray has to make one more perfect guard. Alexander Baumann with a big smile saying, okay, here we go, guys. Now this one, Andy, you think about bringing it perhaps even into the rings to cut down the angle a little bit. Where would the perfect position be for this?
I think it would be just in the 8-foot, right in front, touching center line.
So you're cutting off the 4-foot circle for Alexander for a draw attempt?
You want to make the access to the button a little difficult, and you also want to make the double takeout a little difficult. You want him to be deciding between a couple of shots and both of them being very challenging.
So Leo Ray trying to throw a nuisance stone for Alexander Baumann. Stone turning into a straight guard now, sits in front of the shot rock, and so Alexander Baumann says, okay, draw the pot.
And the second he made the choice on his first stone to peel that guard, this is the shot he knew he would have. There was, and I love how quickly he set the broom down, how prepared he is. So.
Wants to compose himself. He has all the time in the world. Doesn't want to take too long, though. Stay in his usual routine, and he's on his way. So after a pulsating game, the final stone underway, Alexander Baumann has to draw the button. We've got the split time here, and what are we going to be looking for at the hog? 14 and a half, probably.
Right about there. Line looks really good.
Sweepers are off it, though. Staying close, but doesn't really need it. Now they're on it. Fantastic shot by Alexander Baumann, and Germany has taken it out. Clutch shot there from Alexander Baumann. Draws the lid on his final stone of the 10th end. And Germany have taken it out, 6-5 winners over China. Wow, what a fantastic finish. Baumann acknowledging the crowd, and why not? Big upset win for Germany. Clutch final stone for Baumann. Wow, what a fantastic game of curling here at the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. So Tuesday morning, moving day here in Edmonton as the teams position themselves for the playoffs, and now we're going to give you more live action. We're going to jump over and look at the end of the game between Scotland and Switzerland, and we saw David Murdoch's great shot for the deuce in 9, so Peter de Cruz, Benoit Schwartz and his Swiss teammates are going to have last rock in the 10th, one down. How's this one going to finish? Are we going to have another fantastic finish in front of us? Scotland are fighting for their playoff lives. They've got 3 losses coming into this game, and they can't afford to drop another one. There we see veteran Scottish skip David Murdoch, Olympic silver medalist, 2-time world champion in tough against Peter de Cruz and Team Switzerland. Scotland playing the yellow stones, Switzerland with the red stones. We're down to last second rock here for Switzerland. So here is Peter de Cruz, Swiss skip, but plays at the second stone position. Straight back. He's kind of hoping for a double clear, and so Scotland pretty happy to see that. Switzerland needs a pair to win the game.
Line's good. Line's good. Whoa. 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 Close. Line's good. Yep. 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 Okay, we're good.
Scott Andrews, Mike Goodfellow on the brushes for Scotland, easing it by. Into the back forefoot.
Moi, je préfère un back, mais... OK.
Decision time now for the Swiss. Peter de Cruz wanted to clear the center guard. His teammates are saying, Peter, we need a pair. Have to gamble a bit, so they're asking him to consider the freeze into the rings, and so Claudio Petz, the Swiss third, playing at 85% in this match. Let's throw it to the button. Very nice stone there from Claudio. Good angles for Switzerland and some challenges now for David Murdoch.
Freeze. Yeah. Top 8. Top 4. Yeah. I hit it awful often, right?
Feedback from Greg Drummond at the other end says, I think we got a freeze, David. So the freeze it is. Top 8. Here is Greg Drummond.
Top 4. Oh, line's good. Line's good. Little rim. Little rim. Line will be good. Yep. 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 Hard line. Yep. 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 Come on. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Oh, very nice stone there from Greg Drummond of Scotland. Freezes right on top of that Swiss stone. So now if you're Peter de Cruz, how do you get 2? Asking Claudio Petz to play the in-turn to that stone at the back of the forefoot that we can see from our overhead. He's going to have to navigate past 3 or 4 stones to get there. 7, 8, 9. Wait, that's back 8. This one has to curl. Now it moves, and that's a very nice result for Switzerland. And they actually lie 2. So that's the 2 that they need to win the game. Get a great look at it here. Red stones belong to Switzerland. Yellow stones belong to Scotland. Scotland leads by 1. Switzerland has got last rock. They need 2, and if they score 2, they win the game. So David Murdoch says, we got to move these things. He can see maybe a quarter of that, of his own stone at the top of the 4-foot, and so now he's going to try and make a play on it. And if he can throw it and hit what he sees with weight, maybe he can kill both of the Swiss stones, which would be an amazing shot. Here is David Murdoch. Crucial stone here in this game. Oh, gentle contact, made contact, but too thin, and he leaves Switzerland lying 2. So close there for Murdoch, and you can see the frustration. He knows that just had to curl another half a centimeter, and he makes this perfect, but he just clips it too thin. Well by the guards. And he knows that might have been his only opportunity to lock the Swiss out. You can see the disappointment from Murdoch. He knows how close that was. Switzerland now calling timeout. They're asking their coach, Claudio Pescia, to join them on the ice. Here comes Claudio. Big decision for them.
Oui, c'est pas terrible. Peut-être qu'il a un... Si on a une moitié dessus...
Bah si, il y a ça, mais après lui vient là.
So and once again the back guard rearing its head.
On connaît bien la ligne, je pense.
Ouais,
2 Swiss stones there on the tee line, but just behind it.
C'est quoi la glace?
Même si c'est à moitié dessus, je suis pas sûr qu'il ait grand-chose.
Yeah, if Benoit Schwartz can set this rock on the top of the button, frozen to their own, Scotland may not have a shot.
Yeah, that could lock Scotland out, would leave nothing but a
Right now, all they've got is the run back.
double raise run back. Yep.
Faut pas moins que ça, c'est sûr. La vitesse, c'est la même ici, Ben. Ça va toujours vite,
So
14
Switzerland,
c'est bon.
this game immensely important for both teams.
Drummond était 14-5.
The Swiss looking to keep pace with Sweden near the top of the standings, and as we mentioned earlier, Scotland fighting for their playoff lives on 3 losses. They can't afford another loss. But it's in the hands now of Swiss 4th stone, Benoit Schwartz, trying to play a really delicate freeze on top of his own stone. 94% in this game, so he's obviously playing well today. Can he make one more?
Easy. Easy, attention. Oh, oh. Oh.
Sweepers aren't
No,
laying
no,
a
no,
brush to it.
Attention, Claudio. Oh. Just free. No bounce. Zero bounce.
Looks pretty good.
I'm saying 0 bump. They want no bump. It's going to be a tiny bump.
Okay.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
So we talked about the standings, and we see what's at stake here for both of these teams. Switzerland at 4-1. If they lose, they would fall to 4-2. If they win, they'd go to 5-1. They'd be even with Sweden. And look at Scotland at 2-3. If they lose, they drop to 2-4. With a pile of teams ahead of them in the standings. And so David Murdoch knows this stone is absolutely essential if they have any hope at all of not only making the playoffs this week, but then it also starts to have implications for GB and the Olympic points situation.
Yeah, where we thought that they weren't on the bubble at all. Now all of a sudden.
Here we see on the time clock, Scotland has got 44 seconds to get this stone in motion. If the teams run out of time, that's all she wrote.
Yeah, and Dave Murdoch just needs to hit the red stone
Red,
just on the
yellow.
high side, yellow for the double raise, triple takeout to sit 1 or 2, with Switzerland still having the last stone advantage.
This one's got some curling to do. blows by, and that is the ball game. Switzerland scores 3 without having to throw their final stone, and so Switzerland defeats Scotland. What a tense game, back and forth between both teams, but Switzerland making the most of the hammer in the final end. They know how big that win was to their playoff hopes, and they are the winners today by 7-5 over David Murdoch in Scotland. Murdoch disappointed on his 4th loss now, and things very difficult now for Team Scotland in terms of making the playoffs. The Swiss fans, of course, delighted. These guys know that doesn't quite clinch the playoffs, but gets them very close.
What a bunch of thrilling finishes today in draw number 9 here at the 2017 Ford World Men's Curling Championship, presented by Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning and brought to you by AUPE. How did everyone enjoy today's draws? Of course, now that the draws are over, the patch is open, so you can head down to the Expo Center and check things out.
Kids, make sure you tell your teachers that you want to meet Team Switzerland after their victory here today. They have an autograph session going on at 12:30 at the patch, also at the patch, and also 12:30. It's an up close and personal with the 2005 Brier winners.
Our feature game, Germany taking on China. 6th end of play.
Just a reminder that tonight's entertainment is a wonderful band.
Last stone coming for China's Liu Ray. Trying a double takeout, but he's a little bit wide and he blows by, and it's a steal of 2 for Germany. Seventh end, 4 stones wedged in the forefoot. Really tight angles, and no other option for China than to play an angle tap. Leo Ray makes it safely, but it's a force by the Germans. China takes 1. In the 9th end, after some outstanding rock placement and guard play, a chance here for Germany's Alexander Baumann to maybe score 2 and put this game away, but the stone tracks wide. Needs to curl up. It doesn't. Nudges the Chinese stone, and it's a steal of 1 to China. So we go to the 10th end, all tied up. And in that 10th and final end, last stone of the game in the hands of German skip Alexander Baumann. The Chinese stone is guarded perfectly, so he has to draw the button. Baumann delivers, puts it on the pot, and Germany are 6-5 winners over China. Our other games in this very exciting morning draw: Sweden were comfortable 8-2 winners over Italy. Switzerland knocked off Scotland 6-5, and the United States with a big 9-3 win over Norway. A look at the standings after session 9. Canada unbeaten at 5-0. Switzerland, Sweden at 5-1. Japan at 3-2. China goes to 3-3 along with Italy. Moving on to the second page of the standings. Norway also at 3-3 along with the USA. Germany and Scotland are 2-4, and the Netherlands and Russia are on 0-5.
Alexander, that was a wonderful draw for the win. How'd that feel?
It feels amazing. It was an important draw, yeah. And draw to the button for the win is every time awesome, yeah.
Yeah, it was really well managed by your team. Tell me a little bit about how your team played in that game.
We started really strong, and in the middle of the game we struggled a little bit, but at the end there's a W for us. Yeah.
Yeah, now you had a little bit of miscues in 8 and 9, tough shots that you were facing. Tell me what happened to the shot in 9.
Oh, the rock, it was just a little bit straighter. The weight was okay. I think the ice was good, but that happens.
Yeah, it does. Now, what are you going to take away from this win in preparation for your game tonight?
Oh, tonight it will be a very tough game against Canada. But we remember to the Europeans, and we want to try a comeback like this. We had a really good comeback and try it again.
Okay. Great, congratulations, great draw again.
Thank you very much.
So a great win there for Team Germany and a fantastic morning draw. Live action here at the Ford World Men's Curling Championship in Edmonton. So on behalf of our crew, Hans Fraunhofer, Rand Swisshelm, thanks very much for joining us today. Sixth end of play. Sixth. Sees Germany facing China. Highlights of our feature match, Germany versus China. Play on the first end. Last stone to come for Germany's Alexander Baumann. Great chance here in the first end to score a deuce.